Hello and welcome to this hypnotherapy session for myasthenia gravis. Now, what I need to let you know, first of all, is that this session was never supposed to go onto YouTube or social media anywhere. We just recorded it out of interest and because my client is a fellow hypnotherapist who was interested to see how the session went. Now, the results have been so good that Steve, my client, told me to put it on YouTube anyway. And since this session a few weeks ago, we've had a second session, and Steve will be reporting on his wonderful results there. So he's had quite a few improvements of mood and even physical symptoms. Now, speaking of physical symptoms, myasthenia gravis, if you don't know, is an autoimmune disease that attacks the muscles. So it causes weakness of the muscles. You get tired easily, and the muscles don't work as intended. So what you might notice if you know somebody with myasthenia gravis is the eyelid drooping or the eyebrow going up. You might also notice the speech being slightly slurred, or they have trouble chewing. And that is what is or was partially the case with Steve. As I said, the results have been really good so far, and we will keep going. So session one is this one, and there's a session 2 coming up, hopefully this week or next week. So if you would like to watch that as well, go ahead and subscribe, and then you'll get a notification when that's uploaded. Right, let's get into it. Enjoy that session. And if you have any questions about anything that is going on there, if there's anything unclear, just let me know. Either comment, and also feel free to comment if you liked it. And you can always send me an email, or if you're interested in a session for yourself, you can always book a free discovery call. Right, now let's get into it. Enjoy. Ready? Yeah. Do that one.
Okay.
That one, you know the drill. Look between those fingers and just feel those fingers being pulled together by the your hypnosis. And the more you look at them, the more they get pulled together by that hypnosis. And you can already feel as they're being pulled together tighter and tighter, that hypnosis is going up your arms, to your shoulders, up your head, over your forehead, and your eyes are closing down now. That's right. And as your fingers are touching, and that hypnosis is filling you up and going all the way down through your body, you can just slowly let those fingers sink down into your lap, onto your desk, wherever is comfortable. And just feel that hypnosis, your hypnosis, filling your entire body now, taking you down to a place, magical, mystical place, a place where you will have amazing insights today, where you can let go of anything that has been serving you not so well, and anything that has been holding you back from living the life that you should be leading, want to be leading. And the deeper you go down into that hypnosis, your hypnosis, the deeper down your fingers, your hands, your arms will sink. And just feel yourself going down deeper and deeper to that magical, mystical place where all positive change is possible now. That's right. That's right. And as those hands hit the desk or your lap, wherever they land, that'll be a sign for you to go even deeper into hypnosis. Just turning inwards, down to that magical, mystical place. Any noises around you, any noises here, will just help to bring you deeper. And all you need to do is focus on my voice. My voice can guide you, my voice can lead you and show you the next steps. And when you're there at that magical, mystical place, just give me a nod to let me know that you're there. Beautiful. Now I'd like you to, and your powerful subconscious, to just let go of any of the negative feelings, images, thoughts, emotions, sensations that have been holding you back past few hours, days, weeks, months, and years, all the way back since you were a little child. Just feel them come up and let them go. Now, all those negative feelings, images, thoughts, emotions, sensations that have been holding you back for the past few hours, days, weeks, months, and years, just let your powerful subconscious let them all come up and let them go now. feel them being dragged out, pulled out of your head. Just imagine a powerful vortex above your head, ready to take over all those thoughts, feelings, images, feelings, emotions, and sensations. All those negative feelings, images, thoughts, emotions, sensations. And just pulling them away, dragging them away. And you'll notice that the more you let go, the faster you can let go. You may want to thank those thoughts, those feelings, images, those beliefs for keeping you safe, making sure that you are well. Just thank them and let them go. Done? Yeah. Anything come up?
Yeah. Sorry. Oh.
Was that bad? Sorry.
No,
No.
no, it wasn't. It was a little surprising. Well, I'll say surprising. Several things came up, which I sort of thought, yeah, I've let go of that. Things about my mum. My mum died about 20 years ago.
Okay.
And always stressful losing a parent. I thought the overall feeling was, no, I've dealt with that, and I've dealt with that well.
Mm-hmm.
And that, you were talking about a vortex, and it was kind of like that thought that I'd let go of that. That was in its wake, it seemed to be dragging other things past it, sort of like a drag effect.
Mm-hmm.
But there was stuff about some past and current relationships. There was some stuff about my daughter, about Elsa. Some stuff from school, and I couldn't quite put my finger on what that was, but it was something. I was talking about a school event earlier on, so it wasn't that, but it seemed to be something from a little bit later on in school life.
Okay.
But there wasn't anything specific which
Doesn't have to be.
I noticed. But yeah, it was just a general feeling of seeking out and releasing and letting go of things. Yeah, always a powerful experience.
Yeah, I don't want you to go into anything specific. Just let your subconscious decide. Don't think. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay. So now I'd like you to go for round 2. Don't think, just let go.
Okay.
All right. Okay. You want to bring yourself in? Just breathe in as you breathe out. Go back down there. All the way down. All the way down. All the way down. All the way down. That's right. And your body can help keep your neck, your head upright, so you don't need to worry about anything of that. And again, all I want you to do is experience that letting go. Let your subconscious do the work, and you may or may not notice what it is that you're letting go of. You may let go of so many things that you didn't even realize were ever there. And let go now. And as you're doing that, you can ask yourself, what is it that you don't know you know that will help you? And this is while your subconscious still keeps letting go. What is it that you don't know you know? And as you keep letting go, as your subconscious keeps letting go, you can ask yourself, what you've not been seeing. What is it that you did not want to see? That's right. So as your subconscious keeps working, letting go of any of those feelings, images, thoughts, emotions, sensations, and you don't even need to know, you can just get a sense of what it was that you let go of. Also just get a sense of what it is that you didn't want to see. And then when that's forming in your mind, when the answer to that is forming, also ask yourself what it is that you didn't dare to say. Just dive deeper and deeper into that. That new knowledge about yourself that you're uncovering now. As you find clarity on that, or just a sense of what it is that you didn't want to see, that you didn't want to say. Just dive deep into it. And whenever you have a good sense, and as your subconscious still lets go, when that's all done, you can come back out and open your eyes.
Whoa. That was deep. Wow.
I can imagine, but we're not done. Anything?
Yes. A recurring theme of 4 words came up. Conspicuous by my absence.
Say again, a recurring theme of?
Conspicuous by my absence.
Okay.
In other words, I'll tell you something that happened. I must have been about 4 years old. Maybe, yeah, probably about 4. My parents had a birthday party for me.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a load of kids there. And I didn't know many kids. I had my cousins who lived next door to me. They were kind of like brothers. And there was probably a couple of the neighboring kids, but there seemed to be like a lot of kids. And my mum and my dad there, and I've got this memory parent memory of my dad doing pass the parcel with the other kids, and they all seem to be having a good time. And it wasn't a feeling about my dad being involved with those kids, but it wasn't anything to do with him. But it's like I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be the center of attention. So I went up to my room, and I was just quite happy, I think, playing with probably birthday presents upstairs. I remember my dad coming up. This is the apparent memory anyway. And it was like, what are you doing up here? And I just said, well, I just want to play with my toys. He said, well, everybody's downstairs, you know. And it's kind of like a sense of I wanted to make myself conspicuous by not being there. And that's a theme. Okay. So talking about regression, I think that's the earliest I can remember that kind of feeling. But then looking on things in sort of adolescence and young adulthood, and even up until fairly recently, I think there's this part of me which kind of wants to get attention, make myself conspicuous by pulling myself out of it. And I was even thinking of, you know, the language I use and the attitude I have to things like dancing. I was talking with a dancing friend a few weeks ago. You know, we were saying you can't go to all these dances because there's just too many of them and they're all over the place. But sometimes it's good not to be there, because then people miss you, and then when they do see you, it's, oh great, I haven't seen you for a while. And you know, and you get these people who just turn up to everything. They are ubiquitous. They just go everywhere, and I've never sort of wanted to be like that. So then I was asking why do I need to do that? Is it about control? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know why that pattern has repeated itself. But then I just thought, you know what? It doesn't matter why I do it. I just got to let that go, because it doesn't work. And I've always had a bit of a dim view of people who use what do we call it? A pity party. You know, they talk about how bad things are and this sort of thing, and to get attention. I certainly don't regard myself as someone like that. But then I thought, maybe I have been doing that, but not by actively talking about the things that are bothering me, but by absenting myself from a relationship or from a conversation or from an actual event, just not going, in kind of the hope that maybe people might say, oh, where's Steve? What's up with him? Well, you know, let's go and find out about Steve. And of course, that sort of thing never works. People just got other people to think about, and they rarely think that in those ways. It's just somebody's not there. So that was quite important, I think, to recognize that, and I just felt it sort of just sailing off like a helium balloon going up into the sky. You know, just let it go. And it doesn't work. Not served you well.
Good. Okay. So, what do we got next? Ready for the next part?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what are we solving in this part?
Something to do instead of that.
Okay.
Something to replace that with. My mind is kind of racing now. It's, you know, when they say nature doesn't like a vacuum. And
yeah, I know. We
a desire to sort of fill that space. I don't know that anymore. That's gone. But what can I put in its place?
Okay. Good. Let's fill that space up. Right.
Okay.
Again, deep breath in. And as you breathe out, close your eyes, go down again. And you can actually do that session all by yourself, don't you? Because you're the capable one. You're the strong one. You've always been the strong one. You know how everything works. But in this case, I'll help you. It's fine. All the way down. All the way down. But now, let's do it a bit differently. I want you to imagine yourself, or just see yourself sitting in that chair you're sitting in. Just imagine you're watching yourself from outside of yourself. sitting there peacefully, going deeper and deeper into trance. As your body's going deeper and deeper into trance, you can feel yourself, that other self, watching yourself, moving up towards the ceiling. Just see yourself becoming smaller as you move through the ceiling and up through the roof of the house that you're in, all the way up. Just imagine what the town, village, wherever you are, below you looks like. As you go higher and higher into the sky, through the clouds, all the way up, all the way up, till you're near the stars, till you're one of the stars, just looking down at the earth where you came from. And as you're up there, you might notice how small everything is, really. I'd like you to imagine below you a target. You see the bands of the target, and you see in the middle, bullseye. And that target is filled with all those things that have been holding you back, all those themes, any leftovers, the things that you've been doing that haven't been serving you well. That's right. And in a moment, not yet, in a moment, you're going to be shot like an arrow through that target, blasting away all of those old behaviors, old ways, old things, old ways of thinking. And behind that target, there's a space of total bliss and the answer. The new behaviors, the new ways that can fill you up and give you new meaning to life. And in a moment when you shoot through that target like an arrow, you will feel all that hurt, all that pain, all those old things once more, but only for a split second, so be brave. Get ready. And when I make that sound, you'll be shot through that bullseye like an arrow. Feel all that hurt, all that pain, all that old stuff for just a split second, and then you'll be in total bliss. Get ready. 1, 2, 3. And you're through. That's right. Just feel all that bliss. Feel the answer. Feel the new behaviors, the new ways of thinking coming into you right now. Just feel it all growing. And that feeling of certainty filling you up. Just imagine, only imagine all those new ways, thinking, feeling, all those new behaviors, making their way into your mind, into your body, into your being. That's it. Just feel how wonderful that feels. That's it. It's filling you up. It's becoming bigger and bigger. Beautiful feeling. You might feel some warmth inside of you. Warmth is growing. Wherever it is, it's growing until it fills you up completely, fills your arms, your shoulders. You can feel your shoulders becoming broader again like they used to be. Your arms, all the way down to your fingertips. Feel them tingling. So all that energy is coming inside of you, filling you up. Your mind. through your neck, your head. That's it. Just imagine how beautiful that feels, how amazing, how healing. Of course, it's also going down all the way through your belly, your chest, down your hips, your legs, all the way down to your toes. Just feel that energy growing and feel your toes tingling. Your entire body can start tingling, becoming warm. Just notice in that place of bliss that you're in, that energy starting to heal your body, starting to heal all of those tiny cells, those connections. And healing those blueprints, the DNA that's been kind of going wrong a bit in the past few years. Just notice that energy healing, going back to the original blueprints for the time when you're healthy, well and strong. So really imagine all of this happening. Imagine this energy doing a big cleanup. Anything that wasn't working is taken out. It's being repaired, it's being rewired. That's it. And really picture that. Those blueprints, the DNA being fixed, being repaired, being restored. Like a factory reset. We know a factory reset means that everything works as intended. That's right. Imagine that, feel that, sense it, till you know it. As those blueprints are going back to original, of course, all the cells that are coming, that are being born now. And there's billions, trillions of cells being born every day in your body. All of those will be healthy and well, working as intended, working as they're used to work. So that all cells, connections, wiring that was malfunctioning until an hour ago, it's taken away, it's being replaced. Inside's completely remodeled. That's it. Really feel that. Do your best to feel it. Feel the warmth, feel the energy all through your body. And I don't know when it will be, that's right. Don't know when it will be, maybe it will be immediately or a few hours, tomorrow, next month. When you notice that, you didn't even notice that you were completely free of symptoms because you forgot to remember to be weak. You forgot to remember to be affected. So you completely forgot to remember to be ill. You completely forgot to remember to even think about what it was that had been keeping you, holding you back. You might even forget to remember what it was that originally made you become that way, so that you can now build yourself in exactly the way that you really want to be. You may notice as well, maybe immediately tomorrow, next week. That's it. You can smile again the way you used to smile. That's right. Maybe immediately tomorrow, next week, next month, you'll notice that you smile the way you used to smile. But again, you might not even notice. You'll just notice because your friends tell you, oh my God, look at those changes. And all this healing that you're now experiencing, that will continue. Continue all the way every day. And every time you sleep and every time you dream, your subconscious will keep healing you, will make sure that you make the best choices, will keep healing. Every time you sleep and every time you dream. So just feel all of that. And every evening just before you go to sleep, you can remember this state. This healing state. Just set the intention to be better again tomorrow. A restful night's sleep. That's it. And every time you sleep and every time you dream, you will become healthier, better, feeling amazing. You'll be able to see everything, both eyes. So that you're able to speak your mind. And take part in everything you want to take part. Every time you sleep and every time you dream, that healing can continue. And all of those suggestions have been accepted and integrated. And all those changes started, maybe even finished. You can come out of that beautiful trance you're in, taking that healing feeling with you and the knowledge from now on everything will become better. Feeling brand new when you come out.
Whoa. Wow.
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 How you
Wow.
doing?
That I'm lost for words. Not often I'm lost for words, Astrid, but I'm lost for words.
Okay.
So much came out in that I don't, a lot of which I had never really considered before. That some themes that I was aware of, but I was able to look at them in a very different light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I talked just now this idea of making myself conspicuous by my absence, absent myself, take myself out of the situation, and then oh, where's Steve? Is he all right? You know, and all this sort of thing, which I I, I don't like that. I'm going to use the word detest, but that's a part of me. I don't think you should detest a part of yourself, but I don't like that. You know, I wanted sort of something better, as I said at the start of this little session. But I went back into that and back to sort of early times of early childhood and this sort of thing, different experiences. And I have thought this before, but when I was young, my mum and dad they had pretty much a good solid marriage, but my mum I think felt, I wouldn't say disadvantaged by being with my dad, but she had two sisters who married very well. I think one of my uncles was a quantity surveyor, and the other was an architect. So they had quite good lifestyles. My father was an engineer, very, very hardworking. Always admired him for that. But I think my mum felt a bit disadvantaged compared to her sisters. And my dad is not the easiest of people to get along with. He can be quite disagreeable at times. Never violent or anything like that. But I think my mum used to talk down my dad to me when I was very young, up until the time when my sister came along, and I think some of that went onto her from that point onwards. So I kind of had to learn to be one child with my mum, and maybe somebody else the rest of the time. Maybe when I was with my dad, and my dad was great. You know, he played with me and gave me attention and this sort of thing, and you know. But my overall impression was that my mum ran my dad down. And I told you I grew up with two cousins. They lived next door to me, and I was kind of like the peacekeeper between them. And then I'd come away. I'd detach myself. I'd absent myself, and I'd go back to being somebody else. So I think this idea of being different things to different people started off there, and that's something which built and built and built. And I think I've just become a bloody good actor, and in the process of wearing all these different faces, all these different disguises. I haven't thought of this in years. I remember writing a poem, you know, when you're a teenager and you write this sort of grandiose, romantic type poetry. I would have been, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 maybe at that stage. And I remember writing a poem. I could almost like remember a couple of lines of it about being different people to different people and wearing different masks and all this sort of thing. It all sort of fell in. And even right up to my work in sales and my work as a practitioner doing hypnosis and this sort of thing, I can do a bloody good Carl Smith impersonation. I can do a pretty damn good David Snyder or Freddie Jackson.
Thank God we're recording this. Want to have a go?
Yeah, well, you know, and you were talking about lasting changes, and I straight in my head I went straight into David Snyder, and you know, these changes can stay with you as long as your lungs continue to breathe, as long as your heart continues to beat, into tomorrow, into the day
never
after.
Worked with, damn it. I've never heard. Yeah, I've never done anything with David Schneider or watched his YouTube videos. Maybe I should.
He's awesome. He is awesome. You know, they all are. I think every artist has got something to bring to the party. But but that's a metaphor for the way I've run my life. You know, being able to, and I used to do impersonations when I was a kid. You know, I'd do politicians, and I was pretty good at doing that. And I think in the process, I had this feeling I'd lost who I was. And that's you know that's not a good thing, to lose sight of who you are. And then this idea of what's it called, symptom prescription came along. that is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am, to a degree, a chameleon-like character. You know, I can be one thing with one person and one thing with another person.
Mm-hmm.
Funnily enough, a song from my favorite band has just come into my head. It doesn't ever occur to me before. It's called "Man of a Thousand Faces."
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the lyrics, but it doesn't matter. That song's always sort of, it's not the best song they've ever done, to be honest with you, but the lyrics of it really figured with me, and that just popped into my head. But maybe that's okay. Maybe being that person who can be other people, maybe that is who I am, and maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe it's okay to be that and to be able to adapt and pace and lead and all this sort of stuff. And maybe that's why I enjoy this work.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we do. Well, yeah, we have to play different roles, do we? To a certain extent. Yeah.
We all do. Yes. Yeah.
But you've taken it quite far with your mask and being serious, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I think I allowed myself to feel bad. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mask. You know, it is a mini mask, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So do you need to have that visible on the outside?
I think it's certainly ironic that, you know, part of me is covered up. And when I first had to wear this, I mean, I had these huge, great big eye patches because they looked hideous. They looked absolutely hideous. And I was talking to Adam Cox. We mentioned him before.
Yeah.
We used to do this podcast thing together, and I credit him with this. He said, "If you're watching, Adam, if you ever get to watch this, thanks, mate." He said, "You've got to make the eye patch your thing." He said, "You need to become the hypno pirate." And that reframed it, and that was I don't use that name, hypno pirate, or anything like that, but I get the little jokes and this sort of thing, and I don't mind that. Quite okay. But when you rock the look, as they say, I'm not saying I'm any kind of a fashion icon or anything like that, but when you embrace what you've got, who you are, and just go, well, fuck it, this is who I am, this is what I've got, let's just use this. And that changed a lot of things for me. And you know, I used to joke that, you know, if without it, like this, I look like somebody you wouldn't trust with small children. With this, it's a bit piratey cool. You know?
Sorry. Yeah. Well, okay. I'm
fine with small children, incidentally, but
oh Jesus. Yeah, well, so do you actually want to stay like that? Do you want to keep that up?
I don't think it's the impediment I thought it was. And I think years I've tortured myself to a degree trying to find out, you know, who the real me is. And I just had this sense that maybe that is the real me, and maybe that's okay. Maybe it is okay to be a chameleon, and, you know, whatever you land on, you change your colors. All these octopuses, you know, when they land on the seabed, their colors all change, and they can even replicate movement of these colors moving through their bodies, so they blend in. They become part of the environment. Now that's for hiding from predators. This isn't that for me. It's about relating to people, because building rapport with people, not just in the work that we do, but as human beings. And we do adapt to other people. You know, like you mentioned, using a friend over the weekend, and if it's someone you haven't seen for a long time, and you kind of get out of the practice of how they work as an individual, maybe even how they talk and the language they use and the words they use, and after you spend a bit of time with them, you start getting back into that way of thinking, and you're pacing and leading, you're mirroring and all this sort of thing, whether it's body language or words used and this sort of thing. And you know what, that's what we do. So maybe it's okay.
Are you trying to, well, to justify, and instead of actually changing, to justify the way you are, the way that, and I'm talking here about the MG and not your personality.
In relation to the MD, that I think I think that is part of this making myself conspicuous by my absence thing. I felt powerless with everything that happened with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you fired me through Freddie Jacquin's arrow, you know, through the target and this sort of thing, I knew that a lot of the center of the bullseye was that, and I could see a particular scene where that really started for me.
Mm.
And although I've played that scene many, many times in my past, you know, preparing myself and visualizing myself going through that when you made that sound, I really didn't want to go through it, even though I've gone through it many, many times before.
Mm.
But, you know, obviously the suggestion is that when you get through to the other side, it's then behind you, isn't it? You've come through it and you've kind of put it behind you. That's the brilliance about the arrow, I think. It's you come through it, and then that's where the resources are on the other side. I've lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
You lost your train of thought. Oh my God.
Yeah. And we're talking in relation to the MG and myasthenia gravis. And I think where I felt so powerless, the part of me that defaulted to make myself conspicuous by my absence, well, what's the ultimate way of making yourself conspicuous? It's to be dead. It's to destroy yourself. Now, I've never been the sort of person who could consider, you know, hanging myself or shooting myself or anything like that. That's all for me. I can understand why other people do that, and I deal with people who have to go through that, as you do as well. But not for me. You know, not that I regard it as the coward's way out or anything like that, because I can understand those people who do. But it was just something I could never do. So maybe the MG, myasthenia gravis, you know, destroying myself was an effective way of progressively killing myself and becoming ill, taking myself out, so that maybe my daughter might get to hear of that, and then that might be the impetus for, you know, for her to come back into my life, which is that's not a good thing to do. Let's face it. You know, using your own life as some kind of a threat. You know, come and see me or else. But I suppose maybe there was a part of that, but it's not worked anyway. I'm pretty sure, because I've sent letters and told her about things, and she may have seen my Facebook post. I'm pretty sure she knows I've been ill. And she's probably seen the pictures of me wearing an eye patch and this sort of thing, and it's not worked. So insanity, they say, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
So what's the solution here?
Do something different.
And what would that be? Do you need some clarity on that?
I started forming ideas on that. Yeah, maybe we should go back into that, but just tell you what came up so far. And I remember that event I told you about when it all really kicked off. Too long to go into here, but the feeling of powerlessness and mixed with rage, mixed with frustration. That was really quite overpowering. But I kind of adopted, or tried to adopt, like a shell. You know, okay, I've got to be somebody else now. I've got to project another shell around me now to get through this. And I didn't effectively deal with that at that time. I don't think. I just put this other persona on to cover up, like kind of grease paint, if you like, or mask. Put that on to cover up what was going on inside. So what's a better way to deal with it than that? I think just calmly reflecting and talking about things a little bit more, but staying engaged, not running away, because I don't run away, but not absenting myself, not taking myself out of the situation, staying in fight, if you like, and being more present. You use the word. Yeah.
How can you be more present?
Well, that's difficult when somebody's not in your life. You want them to be in your life, and you know, how can you be present? But I think being
Doesn't matter. It
present,
doesn't. No, I don't mean the present for Elsa. I mean just in general, be more present.
well, you got to be there, and being there is two components. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's the physical side of it, and there's times when I've stayed away from the things I love, especially dancing.
Mm.
I've been through periods where I've turned up to a dance, and it's not that I'm anxious or anything like that. I don't feel it as anxiety anyway, but I just haven't wanted to be a part of it, and I've never even got out of the car, just driven home.
Mm.
Or there's times when I've gone places and been with other people, and I've just wanted to get away. I've just not felt right there, and I just wanted to get back home. The place where I live is miles away from anybody else, all my friends and family. I live in this lovely remote little town in North Dorset in the south of England, very picturesque and all this sort of thing. I don't really know anybody else in town. I don't socialise here in town. I socialise about 25 miles away with friends and family and all that sort of thing. And I've kind of like valued this ability to detach myself and come back here, and told myself that it does me good to decompress and to get away from everything. I'm not so sure that's been a good thing for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to sort of move back more that way, but both physically, and then there's the other component to it, which is psychologically. Being connected to people. It isn't just about being physically close to people. It's about an attitude, a state of mind. And I think that's why social media has been appealing for me, because I can kind of be connected to people through things like Facebook and this sort of thing, even when I'm not physically close to people.
Yeah.
Interesting. It was quite revelatory. Thank you. That was
Oh, we're not
amazing.
done yet. We've got a lot of revelations ahead of you yet. Okay, so what is the question far above the myasthenia that you would want to solve now that you've got that revelation?
I think I'm 58 years of age, and I think I am who I am, and I think now I've got that better understanding. That's not bad, and I may not be perfect in many ways, but I don't want to get all narcissistic here. But
no,
I'm a good guy, damn it. And
well, maybe they should take the theory of relativity and put your name on top of it. It's like, well, yeah, but you're always constantly like, cutting out things of really valuable information.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Insight. It's just like, yeah, no, that's okay. I don't need anything. Just, that's kind of what comes across.
Yeah. So sometimes, I perhaps could be a little bit more vulnerable on a day-to-day basis. And just be present that way with my emotions, rather than having to form another personality or another way of being, or switching, putting another hat on. And I've never been shy. I'm not, and I'll tell people what they think, what I think of a situation. But sometimes I don't think I've been as capable of saying how certain things have affected me. Almost like I regard that as a position of weakness. I don't, but it's kind of like that. So I become somebody else. I start feeling a certain way, and I'll grab one of these personalities, one of these suits, and put it on, and I can deal with that.
What does that help you achieve?
Very often it'll deal with that particular situation. But
what does that? No, just on a higher level, go above. What does that help you achieve in situations?
What does it help you achieve?
How does it make you feel? No, yeah, but what's the general feeling that you get when you have one of those suits on?
Competency. They are suits of competency. It's a wardrobe of different suits and personalities that I can put on and become somebody else to deal with that. And I think the concern has been that, I've never been my authentic self, and I'm rummaging through this cupboard trying to find out what's behind, who's the person behind all these suits. And do you know what? I think that's a pointless search, because I am the sum of all those suits. And do you know what? I don't think that's a bad thing.
But what does you were talking about competency? What goal does a competency serve, or what purpose does a competency serve?
Competency gives me confidence. Now, those are very different things, I think. Competency and confidence. You can project confidence. You fake it. You can go and hire a Lamborghini and do some video and make out that you're successful and all this. Never done it, but you could do that. But that's not real confidence. That's just fakery. But competence is the ability to get things done, to deal with situations and put them on. And we all do this. I think we all wear different hats. And you're a mom, you know what it's like.
We're talking about you, Steve.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just using this.
Don't be wrong.
We all do this. And I think I've just got hung up on the fact that I've been doing what everybody else has been doing. And this combination of these suits and these personalities, that is just me. That's just who I am, which is bizarre, because I do use ego state work quite a lot, and I didn't really see this in relation to ego state work, but hey, that's exactly what it is.
So that confidence that you get through your competency, what purpose does that serve?
Makes me feel safe.
Okay. You're allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, well, I was just reflecting on it. It brings it brings me peace. It brings me a feeling of security more rather than safe. I think security. I feel secure, when I can deal with things, or knowing I can deal with things, knowing that I've got that range of suits, and that whatever situation comes along, I can put one of them on, and then that will make me feel secure again. Because we all go through periods of insecurity. That's life. But yeah.
Sorry, I talk about you. Focus on yourself. Don't want to hear about anyone else. We do that. We do that. Yeah. Well, it's taking focus off you.
But I think this is part of it. I think I have regarded myself as different, not in a narcissistic way. I just kind of figured that I was doing things differently to other people by being all these different people. But I think we all do it. And I think what's been quite revelatory to me today is the fact that I've finally woken up to that, and I don't have to take myself out of a situation to get the support, the care, the love of other people around me. That just doesn't work anyway. What is the best way to do that? Well, by being what I strive to be anyway, which is competence, which then leads to that sense of security, because that makes other people feel comfortable and happy. They say we always gravitate to the strongest person in the room, don't they? And not about being a leader or anything like that, but we're strong, other people come to us. That's what brings us to other people. When we've got somebody around us who's weak or weekend, because we all go through problems from time to time, it's difficult dealing with those people. And I'm going through that with a number of clients at the moment. They're finding their problems is driving their friends away, and I have to explain to people, well, it's not their fault. They just don't know what to say to you, and they do say things, and they see you not following it. In the end, they get exasperated and say, well, I've given you my advice and you don't do anything about it. What more can I do? Then they feel a failure. So I think it's about us being, as me, bringing that to me, being as strong as I can be, using this system I've got of all these different.
Okay, so you said that being strong and feeling safe gets you support and care.
Yeah, yeah, I think I've looked at this the wrong way around, because I always thought, I'd formed this idea over the years that being strong, being, you know, independent as opposed to codependent, being independent with your emotions, necessitated being alone, being detached. Do you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. That's quite a revelation to me. I mean, yeah, if I'd stopped and thought about it before, it's obvious, but it's more obvious now as a result of this session than it's, I think, ever been before. That's the wonderful thing about this process. If anybody's looking in and watching this,
I don't even know whether I'm going to publish this. We'll see.
No, when you're sort of world famous on the lecture circuit and this sort of thing, and you can point back to this video and this sort of thing. Seriously, folks, you've got to do this. It's just amazing, because this is.
Oh God, we're not done yet.
Go and see Astrid. She's awesome.
Well, thank you. But still, so did you just say that being independent means alone, but at the same time it gets you support and care? Do I get that right?
That's how. Yes, up until this session, I think that's how I viewed it.
Okay, right.
I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and you know, all the action heroes, and sort of James Bond, for example. You know, my middle name is James, and I don't know whether it's true. I tell everyone that my middle name is James after James Bond. I don't know it is or not, but it was a cultural meme at the time. He was a very independent character, and he was quite a lonely character as well. You know, traveling around the world and getting in adventures and these women and this sort of thing. But he was never a part of anything, always separate. You know, and even within his own organization, he was regarded as a bit of an outsider. And you know, that's a romantic notion, but you pick up on these things when you're young.
So all the women flocking to James Bond, is that what you wanted to achieve?
That's the way they portray it in the films. Yes, yeah.
That's what they.
Real life's not like that, but
making it easy. Okay. Right. So what's the big question we need to answer still?
The big question. The big question. What's next?
What's next?
What's next?
Okay.
Because a little earlier on in session, and you were talking, and I was picking out certain words. You know, you do this in hypnosis. You're not focusing on the direct narrative itself, but certain words just stand out and have resonance and meaning for you. And I can't remember what it was you said, but all of a sudden it's, I want this session to end. Don't take this the wrong way. I want this session to end because I want to work, because I want to get past this session and back into the real world and start making the changes. That's a good thing, but obviously you've got to stay and make sure you've done all the work before you're fully ready to do that. So I think what's next is probably the big question. Some sort of a plan or series of plans and strategies and things so I can, because I like working like that, you know, knowing where I'm going. I've always loved maps and sat nav systems and this sort of thing, and knowing where I'm going is quite important to me.
Okay.
So what's next? That's the big question.
Okay, you ready to sort that out?
Certainly am.
Good.
Hit me.
You're posing a lot of challenges to me, but I'll get there with you.
Hit me, baby, one more time. Yeah.
I'm not going to hit you. You're going to hit yourself. Okay, right.
Just post some Britney Spears. But there we go.
I know. Okay. You still remember where to go? Okay.
Absolutely.
Deep breath in. And as you breathe out again, go down. Oh, your eyes closed already. All the way down. All the way down, letting go again of anything that you've been thinking about in the last hour. Just emptying your mind. If you have any thoughts, just let them go. Just acknowledge them and say, I'll deal with you in a moment. Moving all the way down. Feel your body touching the chair behind you, below you, underneath you. Your feet touching the ground. You can feel your body becoming heavier and heavier. Safe and stable in that chair. Again, now I want you to step outside of yourself. Just watch yourself. Going down deeper and deeper into hypnosis, sitting there comfortably, all the way through until the session ends. As you're watching yourself, just notice how you've already changed in this past hour. As you're taking all of that in, you can again start the ascent up, leaving your body behind, comfortably, safely, securely. So as you're moving up through the ceiling into the sky again, all the way up. We're now going to go on a journey. So as you feel yourself going up, you may feel yourself being pulled towards the place where you will find all the answers. As you're moving along, you may be seeing stars, lights flickering, different colors, and the way you may be feeling heat, some specks of cold, maybe some wind on your face as you're going very fast. Again, being pulled up towards that place. It's going to allow you to see everything from a different perspective. It's going to allow you to see all of those bits and pieces you've discovered about yourself today, but also the last few, again, days, weeks, months, years. So feel yourself again moving up all the way, being pulled, traveling to that place. As you're moving, you may already notice ahead of you that place coming up. You may feel that this is where you get all your answers now. And when you're there, I'd like you to just nod to let me know that you're there. That's it. Now just look around you, just feel really into that place. You may notice lots of little things that help you understand. Just all the puzzle pieces of understanding that you've had so far. As you're looking, feeling, touching all of those puzzle pieces and putting them together, you may notice this presence, someone with you. Someone's making you feel incredibly safe, trusting, loved. Someone is your own higher self, your own higher consciousness. This higher consciousness of yours is always there for you, helping you, finding answers. This higher consciousness will now help you put together the puzzle pieces, and you can ask it anything anything you like, any questions you've ever had about yourself, about your life, you can ask. You will get answers. Full answers, sense of. The beginnings of answers that you will need to answer for yourself in the future. So as you feel that love, that warmth, that welcome, you can notice that this is a place of no judgment whatsoever. It's a bright, beautiful place, no judgment, full of love. You can ask all of those questions. You can open yourself up to receive all the answers. As you sit and puzzle them together, as if by magic. Take as long as you need. You have all the time in the world, because where you are is no time. As you're there, getting all those insights, all those answers, new questions will arise. Getting answers to those as well. All of those answers, all of those puzzle pieces falling into place right now can help you to create the maps that you need, the systems that you need to move forward with confidence. Move forward, knowing that you're always supported and cared for. Feeling safe, peaceful, and secure. As long as you like.
Whoa. Wow. Where am I?
Back in your chair.
Yeah, back in the room. Wow. That was amazing.
Good. Did you know you can go there anytime you like?
Yeah. The interesting thing was you again, I got to that stage where I'm just picking out words of what you're saying rather than the intricate narrative. And it was kind of about seeking some sort of higher wisdom states.
Yep.
And I don't regard myself as a conventionally religious person, but it was kind of like an idea of God. And again, this comes from a line from a song. I tend to relate my emotions and thoughts from musical experiences. It's just the way I've always done it. But this idea of God as being not some old man sitting on a cloud, but maybe just a cloud of maybe the cloud itself. And I just got this idea of this cloud of I don't know why, indigo gas, just this cloud of indigo gas, and then going towards that, because obviously there's this thing about going up and out of yourself and going off out into space, and then getting there, and then I remembered, you know, the scene in The Wizard of Oz where Dorothy and her friends they're on this journey. You've ever seen The Wizard of Oz?
Nope.
Oh, you've got to watch it.
Bits and pieces. Okay.
It's the hero's journey. It's the same story as Star Wars, but it's just done from different perspectives. And she goes on the journey. She's got all these friends. She's got the Tin Man, the Lion, the Cowardly Lion. I forget the other characters, and they've got to go and find Oz, the great wizard, who will tell her how to get back home to Kansas, where she came from, because she was picked up by this tornado and dumped in this strange country, strange land. And when they get there, there's this big imposing edifice of a building, and they go in, they feel really, really intimidated. You know, this is the great Wizard of Oz, and he's got this booming voice, and they're in absolute terror that, you know, but hopefully they're going to get some advice. And then they catch a glimpse behind the curtain, and it's this little guy with a microphone, and it's coming out through speakers, and he hasn't actually got any answers at all. He's just a front. All of that is fake, you know, and their perception of what wisdom would be. But the moral of the story is that the journey that she's been on, and these different characters that she's collected, these friends that she's collected, they all represent parts of her, and she's already got the answers. And that scene came to me in this, you know, that I'm not conventionally religious, but, you know, we all have this idea of a higher ego state or some sort of higher wisdom or something like that. For some people, that is God. And I think that's built into us anyway. If there is a God, he or she is not out there, they're in here. It's, you know, it's something within us. And it was kind of like, you know, the answers to all of this is already within me. And then you said something about somebody being with you to guide you, and I just got this idea of a child, probably maybe 7-8 years of age. I couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl. Most of me wants to say it was a boy, and I got this idea that it was me from years ago. Now, normally in this work, you know, we go back and we give the child the resources to, you know, give the strength and everything. This was the other way around. This was the child giving me some advice, and the advice was play. Be playful. Yeah. And it was kind of like, you know, play with me, and then something about, you know, playing helps us grow, and it's not about winning, but it's about learning to become better yourself and more comfortable. Yeah, sometimes we lose at the game of life, and you know what, that's okay. So long as you stay in the game and you keep on learning, that's what it's about. It's not actually about winning, but it's about enjoying it, and that was incredibly powerful. You know, this sort of childlike state. Just
I've
saying
had that quite a few times, yeah, with clients.
Play.
Yeah. Play, be playful, don't take yourself too serious, that kind of thing. Yeah. And I think I probably have taken myself too seriously. And then, you know, this whole thing about taking myself out of it, becoming conspicuous by my absence, that's the more serious side, and the playful side would just stay there and have fun. And that's what's next, I think. Yeah.
Be more playful.
So did you get a map? Did you even hear me say that?
not a map in the what you might call the conventional sense, but when we are playing, we might have rules for a game, you know, playing a board game or something. You've got to have an understanding of how to play the game. So that's kind of like a map, I suppose. But the idea of play is that it is relatively free form. It's what goes on in the moment, and simultaneous to that, funnily enough, I remembered Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. Have you read that? I haven't read it for a while actually, but in that instant, I thought I've got to get that book out. I've got it on audio book, and I've got to listen to that. And I've got to listen to that today, because I think that is about the element of play. It's about being in the moment and dealing with it. You're just having fun now. You know, what can I do today to have fun? Because that will take care of tomorrow. And maybe I've been too focused on plans before, because the trouble with plans and maps and strategies and that sort of thing, they rarely turn out the way you intend them anyway. You tend to stray off course and this sort of thing, and that can sometimes lead to a feeling of disappointment, failure even. So maybe I need to just be a little bit more playful with life.
That's interesting, because just before we went into this last part, you said you need to create maps. You know, you wanted to get out of the last part of the session to create maps, to put everything into motion, to make plans.
Well, it was what's next.
Yeah.
But you see, that's only part of the map. If you're on a map, you know, what's next? Sat nav, for example, you know, it'll say 150 meters, turn left in 150 meters, or 10 miles, or wherever you are. That's what's next. You're not bothered about the turn after that, and then the roundabout, then the intersection, and then the motorway beyond that. All you're looking for is what's next. And that's the question I asked. What's next? And you've got to be careful what you ask for sometimes, because then you get it. But what's next, I think, is being playful. And maybe the rest of that will, like your sat nav does, it works it out for you. And maybe we don't have to worry so much. You've got to have aims and goals. You can't live your life like there's no tomorrow, obviously. And we all do that to a degree. I certainly know I do. But I think I've got to focus more on what's next. And just being in the moment, being more playful. And I certainly got the answer to that. So, yeah.
Good. Anything else we need to do?
I am feeling really excited, and I've got this sense of impetus now and energy, and I just want to start making some changes. So a load of thoughts sort of going through my mind of things to do IRL, in the real world, so to speak. And you and I discussed a couple of them outside of this session, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to bringing that playful element in. I think it's about time.
There you go.
Take myself too seriously for too long.
Beautiful. So I better bugger off, hey?
Well, it's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure working with you, and this has been a really revelatory session to me. I mean, I've been hypnotized loads of times before by some very, very good people, and it's always a different experience. And I don't think you can ever say one person is better than another or anything like that, because you get different things out of working with different people. But this session has really been quite transformative for me, certainly.
Good. If you want another one, I'm here.
Bless you. Thank you.